My husband was having a secret affair with my severely autistic sister. I honestly don't know if there's a word in the English language for what I felt when I found out. Anger doesn't even scratch the surface. Betrayal feels too mild, like calling a hurricane a bit of bad weather. What I experienced was something primal, like every nerve in my body had been set on fire, my mind flipping through rage, disgust, and a deep, soul-crushing grief. But before I get there, I need to tell you about us. I met Jake 7 years ago at a friend's barbecue. He was charming, soft smile, just the right amount of eye contact, the ability to make you feel like you're the only person in a crowded room. I'd just come out of a messy breakup, and Jake was like this calm, safe harbor. Or at least that's what I thought. We dated for 2 years before he proposed in the most picture-perfect way. Sunset on the beach, down on one knee, all my friends hidden nearby to capture the moment. I said yes without hesitation. We'd been married for almost 5 years when everything happened. My younger sister, Amy, was born with cerebral palsy. She's nonverbal, uses a wheelchair, and needs help with pretty much every daily task: eating, dressing, bathing. Despite all that, Amy has the brightest eyes, the most expressive smile, and this uncanny ability to make you feel understood without saying a single word. She's been living with my parents her whole life, but earlier last year, my dad was diagnosed with early-stage cancer. My mom needed to focus on his treatment, and since I work from home, it made sense for Amy to stay with us for a few months. Jake wasn't thrilled. I noticed it in the way he sighed when I brought it up, the forced smile he gave when my mom and I rolled Amy into our living room. But he agreed, and I chalked his hesitation up to nerves about the added responsibility. At first, things seemed fine. I set up a small room for Amy next to ours, and I handled most of her care. Jake would occasionally help, lifting her into bed if I was carrying groceries, making her tea, or chatting to her while I cooked. I thought it was sweet, actually. I remember thinking, wow, I'm so lucky to have a husband who's willing to help with my sister. But then little things started to feel off. One afternoon, I came home early from a client meeting and heard Jake's voice in Amy's room. The tone was different, low, hushed, like he was telling her a secret. I wheeled the groceries into the kitchen, telling myself I was imagining it. Another time I found Jake sitting in her room long after I'd put her to bed. He jumped up like I'd caught him doing something wrong, muttering something about just checking on her. I brushed it off. I wanted to brush it off. Who ever think their husband was capable of something that disgusting? And with my sister who couldn't even consent or defend herself. The thought was so vile it didn't even occur to me as a possibility. Until the night I found out. It was a Thursday. I'd been up late working in the office when I realized I'd left my phone charger in our bedroom. Jake wasn't there. I figured he was in the living room watching TV, but when I walked past Amy's door, I heard a sound that made my skin crawl. Breathing. Heavy, deliberate. And then Jake's voice. My blood turned to ice. I pushed the door open, and the scene burned itself into my brain forever. Jake was bent over her bed, his hands where they had no right to be, and Amy's eyes, God, her eyes were wide and frantic. She couldn't scream, couldn't move, but she was terrified. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just froze. Then, slowly, I stepped back, closed the door quietly, and walked into the kitchen. I sat at the table, my hands trembling, my mind racing so fast I could barely think straight. Every instinct in me wanted to storm in there, drag him off her, and beat him until his face was unrecognizable. But that wouldn't protect Amy in the long run. That wouldn't make him pay the way he needed to pay. So I made a decision. I was going to destroy him. Over the next 2 weeks, I became an actress. I smiled. I kissed him good morning. I asked about his day. Meanwhile, I set up hidden cameras in Amy's room and in the hallway. I documented everything. Every inappropriate touch, every disgusting whisper, every moment he thought no one was watching. And I wasn't just collecting video. I kept a written log with dates, times, and exactly what happened. During the day, I quietly met with a lawyer and the police. The detective I spoke to was horrified but told me that without undeniable proof, Jake could twist the narrative and claim I was lying to get custody of Amy or something equally ridiculous. The videos would change that. It took 12 days to gather enough evidence to ensure there'd be no misunderstanding in court. 12 days of pretending I didn't know, of helping him make dinner, of listening to him talk about work while knowing he was a predator sitting across from me. When the day came, I had everything ready. I arranged for Amy to stay at a specialized care facility for the day so she wouldn't have to see what was about to happen. Then I called Jake at work and told him we needed to talk. He walked in smiling like he was about to get lucky. That smile faded fast when he saw two uniformed officers standing in our living room. The arrest was almost anticlimactic. They read him his rights while I stood there, holding a manila folder full of printed screenshots and time-stamped video stills. His face went pale when he realized what I had. He tried to stammer something about misunderstandings and helping her get comfortable, but the evidence spoke for itself. The media caught wind of the story within days. It spread fast. Local man arrested for assaulting disabled sister-in-law. I didn't try to hide my identity. In fact, I wanted people to know. I posted a full statement on Facebook and Instagram outlining exactly what he did and thanking the police for their work. His friends turned on him instantly. His boss fired him. His family, well, they tried to shame me for airing private family matters, but I shut that down quick. The trial was brutal, but every second was worth it when the jury came back with guilty on all charges. He's serving 18 years without the possibility of parole. And because I filed for divorce the same week he was arrested, I got the house, the car, and half his savings. Amy's back with my parents now, and my dad's doing better. We've set up additional security at their house, and I make sure she's never alone with anyone we don't fully trust. Sometimes I still lie awake at night thinking about how close I came to missing it, how easily I could have written off those little red flags. But I didn't. And because of that, he'll never hurt her or anyone else again. And if that makes me vindictive, then fine. I'll wear that label like a crown. Because some people deserve to be ruined.